Hello, Facebook friends. Welcome to Artrageous Live as we turn isolation into inspiration. Now today we have a very special treat for you and a very special guest. But before we get to that, I wanted to remind you that all of our videos that we've done over the last few weeks are posted on our website, artrageousexperience.com. If you go there, you're going to be able to see all of the classes and all of the fun things that we've done over the last 2 weeks. And secondly, I want to remind you to hang out with us on our Artrageous Arts community. It's a Facebook group that we've created where you can share all of your very cool things that you're working on. We want to see it, we love seeing it, and we're so inspired by you. So keep on sharing it. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce a very special friend of ours. Come on over, everyone. This is Howard. Hi, Howard. How are you? Oh, cute. Very nice to see you this fine day. How are you holding up? Everything going okay? Yeah? Oh. Okay, that sounds like a great idea. Howard and I are going to tell you an adventure story. Let's see. Okay, I think I got it. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Howard. Now, Howard was just like any other boy or girl, except he had a magic crayon. Now, one evening, when it was very late and Howard could not sleep, he sat on the edge of his bed, staring out the window at the full moon. And since he could not sleep, he decided to go for a walk. So he got off his bed, walked to the window, leaped up onto the windowsill, and jumped to the ground below. And he floated, light as a feather, and landed harmlessly on the ground below. Once on the ground, he decided to walk a new path. So he took his crayon and he drew a path. And as he drew, he walked, and he walked, and he walked, until he came to a place where he thought there should be a forest. So he took his crayon and he drew a tree. And it wasn't a very big forest, just the one tree. But Howard's feeling hungry, so he decides it should be an apple tree. He drew an apple, he picked it, and sure enough, he ate it. Now this was great fun, but Howard decided he should have a dragon to protect his forest. So he took his crayon and he drew the scales of the dragon's back. He drew the dragon's long tail. He drew the dragon's little feet. He drew the dragon's head with long, sharp teeth, and it was so frightening that it scared even Howard, and he began to shake, and as he shook, the crayon shook, and as the crayon shook, it made water. Howard was up to his ears in water, but being the clever thinker he was, he drew a boat. Leaped into the boat, drew some oars, and began to row. But to who knows where? Soon he came to some land which he had also drawn. He leaped out onto the shore, and there he stood, lost, cold, tired, so alone, and no idea where home was. To get a better look around, he decided to draw a mountain to climb. So he took his crayon and he drew a mountain, and he climbed higher and higher and higher and higher and higher until he reached the top, lost his balance, and fell off the other side. Thinking quickly, he drew a balloon with a string, grabbed the string, and floated through the air. Now from here he could see far, but still no idea where home was. Back on the ground again, Howard thought and he thought about his predicament. And as he thought, his gaze drifted towards the moon. "Ah!" he exclaimed. He remembered that when he was in his bedroom, the full moon was shining bright through his bedroom window. So he took his crayon and he drew a window around the moon. And sure enough, he was back in his own room. Now Howard had had enough adventures for one evening. So he went to his bed, he laid down, and he drew up the covers. you enjoyed joining us for this really fun puppetry that we did today. And you know what? Something else. Our truck is stuck in Ohio. So this is actually George. And we've had to use all of our backup gear until we get our truck back home to us. George is Howard's lesser known friend. Now, Bunraku Puppetry is something that we have been doing with our Artrageous arts community for many years, and one of the people who is one of the original members of Artrageous is going to come over and talk with us about a little bit about puppetry. This is John.
Hello.
So tell me, how long have you been doing Bunraku Puppetry?
Well, we started in 1980, and we did street theater in Vancouver, and that was just so we could eat. So on and off for 40 years.
Yeah, it seems like it's such a very cool art form. And can you tell us a little bit about like what it takes to be a puppeteer and work with the other puppeteers in the troupe?
Well, it's interesting because it takes 3 puppeteers in the Bunraku style, which is a Japanese art form. So you have, in this case, with George, you have a head and an arm, and then you have holding the body and the other arm, and then you have a foot puppeteer. So it takes 3 people to create the illusion of life, which is the magic of anything, especially puppetry, when you take something inanimate and you create the illusion of life through movement, the attention of the puppeteers, a story, and it's really magical when someone in the audience kind of falls into the belief that Howard is, or George, is real.
Now, is there anything like, as you're doing the puppetry, is there anything that you and the other puppeteers are trying to do together, or is there anything that you're collectively working towards?
Well, we definitely are attempting to pay attention, and it's an activity that forces you to pay attention because you want to create the illusion of life. So Howard has to be somewhat human-like in his movements. So we have to work together. We all have kind of a third of the movement.
Right.
So even just walking, if you break that down, it's like a leg and an arm, kind of the shift of the body weight, etc., etc. So you really work with attention. You have to have a very good sense because your view is quite limited.
Right.
You don't see the whole puppet. But the biggest thing that you're trying to do is just create a little energy field around the puppet.
Yeah. Sometimes when I narrate for Howard, especially on stage, it's almost like it's only me and Howard there, and it's really, that's like such a fun little experience of where it just feels like it's just me and my buddy Howard, like interacting with everyone, so that's pretty cool. Now, how long do you think, like if somebody wanted to learn puppetry, what's the process and how long do you think it would take to learn this style of puppetry?
Well, it's a journey, and just start. And one of the things I didn't mention is that it can be physical, like especially for the body puppeteer, because even a few pounds over 5 minutes. So if you have an inkling to do it, want to put on a little show at home, especially now.
And share it with us.
Just start with a pencil.
Yeah, try to
anything inanimate, manipulated the right way, can have the appearance of a personality and life.
Yeah, and remember that show? I can't remember what it's called, but they take like the weirdest objects and what's it called? We went to see it.
Mom and Sean's.
Yeah, Mom and Sean's. If you have a chance to look up Mom and Sean's, they take the strangest objects and they give them life, and that's kind of what is trying to be accomplished here. With Bunraku, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. So is there anything that we would practice in order to, like, what's a good exercise to start to learn, like, the postures, or say I'm just working on my own, like, what's the stance, what's the...
Right. Well, a key attitude, and this is from the Japanese tradition, is you lose yourself. That's one of the reasons we're all dressed in black. So it's not about you, and so many of the arts really are about you, your personality, your mask, etc. With Bunraku, you really, what you bring to the table is just your physical movement via the puppet, and then your attention. You try and stay relaxed, you try and keep your facial mask relaxed, and just fade into the background, and everything is kind of channeled through the puppet.
That's really cool.
In terms of a stance, it's what we call the Tai Chi stance, which is kind of like that, just grounded.
So my last question would be, so you've been working with Howard for quite a while. Is there any, like, favorite story that you have of an experience where you were using Howard or working with Howard?
Well, especially in the early days when we were looking for bookings, we would take Howard out as we kind of went door to door. So when you're just kind of ad-libbing, you get into a lot of unusual situations, especially when you're dressed in black. It can be a little scary. So when you imagine you round at the corner of a hallway and somebody's walking down, and all of a sudden they see a puppet and 3 people dressed in black, it's kind of transity. So yes, we've had lots of really interesting exchanges, and sometimes, as much as we try to stay somewhat in the background, there are things that happen that are incredibly funny as you see Howard and a person start to engage, and there can be some very, very funny things that come from that, some of which I would definitely not repeat.
Okay, perfect. Well, thanks for telling us a little bit about Bunraku Puppetry, and thanks for sharing Howard with us, /George. And we'll see you tomorrow, where we're going to do a live mandala making class with Christine. It's going to be so much fun. Definitely tune in. I know that there's people who are already looking forward to that, as I am as well. So we'll see you tomorrow, guys. Be healthy and vibrant. Thank you.
Thank you.